Hello, everyone. So we are live today with a very special topic. Actually, let me go full screen here with a new topic that a lot of people are talking about, tons of people. It is all about using AI, specifically an AI tool called Chat GPT. And if you haven't heard of it yet before, I'm going to try and actually show you live using some of it. It's been a little glitchy since Wednesday when they came out with a new version called GPT-4. And I have a Plus membership, so I can access that and I can show you a little bit of that. And I've made some copies of some different conversations just in case it goes down. But my hope is that we can play around with it. I'll show you examples. And then if there's time, we can actually put in some different prompts, whatever you want to put in and play with. So Chat GPT, if you have not heard of it before, well, why don't we ask Chat GPT sorry about that. Why don't we ask it exactly what it is? So first question over here, Liz, Chat GPT 3 is free. Okay, so it is free to the whole world. The only issue you have is so many people are getting on it that it can be hard sometimes to access. So sometimes when you're first signing up, it says you have to wait, or it's at capacity. Right now with GPT-4 having come out, it's been at capacity a lot. Whereas if you are a GPT Plus member, which costs $20 a month, you get priority access. So when it was overloaded on Wednesday with GPT-4, I was able to get a special link, which still took a while to get in, and they've scaled back how many people are actually allowed to use that. So I will show you, but yes, it's free. So you just won't have as quick access always. If you have any questions along the way, if you can't hear me, I will keep an eye out on here. We did just release something with some short reports, and we have another big course available right now. So you have lots of content you can grab that you can play with ChatGPT. All right, so let's go over to ChatGPT. I'll show you what it looks like, and we can play around with it and let you know what it is. So this is, once you've gotten a login and you get in, you're going to have a screen like this that says it's just blank, and you can start a new chat up on the left. It says default GPT 3.5. Because I am a Plus member, I also have the option to do GPT 4, but it's a lot slower. So let's see, I already typed in asking it what it is. So let's see, where's that question? So here, I said, what is Chat GPT? And it started out, this is a large language model developed by, and it was very confusing. So I said, can you summarize that into bullet points? So it summarized it into bullet points. It's a large language model based on the GPT, blah, blah. Again, difficult to understand. So I said, can you rewrite this into language that anyone can understand? Now we're getting into something that we can understand. Chat GPT is a smart computer program that can understand what you're saying and give you an answer that sounds like it came from a human. It knows a lot of things. This is where it gets a little like kindergarten, because it reads a ton of information on the internet. It can talk to you in different languages, and it can be used in different ways, like a helper in a chat conversation, or to help translate languages. But from what I've heard, it's not so accurate on that. So then I said, okay, can you summarize that into bullet points? Because I love everything in bullet points. It said, yes, of course. Here are some simplified bullet points about ChatGPT. It's a computer program that can talk to you like a human. It's learned a lot from reading information on the internet. Now, one note, that's from, its database is only up to like mid-2021. And it can talk to you in different languages. So Portuguese, Spanish, whatever. It can be used to help you in a chat conversation or to translate languages. It actually can do a ton more than that. And I'm going to go through some of those examples today, like anything from giving you blog post ideas, which is pretty simple, to even creating a quiz or creating different learning activities. So I'm going to focus on using it with white label content and PLR, but you can also use it for things like, I'm a business coach and my audience is work from home moms. What are their biggest struggles and challenges? And it will give you that from all its reading on the internet. Or, what are the key values of those people? So you can use it for kind of honing down, targeting in on some of the more specifics of your audience, asking it for ideas for content that audience would like, all sorts of things. And I'm a member of something called the AI Success Club. So I'm learning about this all the time, and they're sharing a lot of different things. So that's something you're interested in, I will share the link as well. Liz, you're asking how best to use it for your podcast. We're going to get really creative today, and I'll show you some different things, and you'll get ideas from that, because you can just come up with podcast ideas for topics depending on your audience. You can use it to maybe come up with an intro script or ideas for what to promote, who you should target. There's so many different things you can do. It's unbelievable. So I can't go into all of it, but we'll play with it some today. And then I only have an hour, so I'm going to really jump in. But I can do another session if you got a lot out of this one. A few tips before we get started. Chat GPT, you have to think in terms of a tool. It is a tool and assistant for you. It is not a replacement for a human. All right. So it's not going to come in and replace everybody's jobs. It won't even replace some of your freelancers or outsourcers necessarily, but it will make you much more productive and can raise the quality of it. And Jackie, yeah, you said never thought of it for using quizzes. Wait till you see how that works. It's amazing. But the key with Chat GPT is the questions that you ask it, and more importantly, the follow-up questions that you ask it, and getting it to be more and more specific on what you want. And the more you're specific about that, the better the results are going to be. So I'm going to look today at some things like getting alternate titles for one of your courses or a blog post, looking at learning activities, getting it to create some infographic text on a topic. I've tried using it for generating email content, and I haven't liked the results. It may just be I'm not asking the right questions. Social media prompts. What else did I have it do? Learning activities, quizzes. Well, we'll go through and you'll see. All right, so that's ChatGPT's response on what it is. I did ask ChatGPT 4 about what it is, and it was a little confusing because it is brand new. So I'll just I asked those same sort of questions. What is it? Can you rewrite it in something that anyone can understand? Bullet points, it's a made-up future program, talks like a human, better than ChatGPT 3, but obviously less detail. Just an idea, details unknown. And then I said, what is ChatGPT 3? So it had slightly different answers, which is kind of interesting. Like, it understands and uses human language, designed to read, write, and understands the words we use every day. I'm seeing that it's more bulleted and organized, so more in outlines and stuff. Algebra, for me, it's hard to trust because it's not human. Am I the only one feeling this? Yeah, you have to be very, very careful about anything that's facts or that it says is facts, or because it's pulling from a database from mid-2021, it can sometimes be not up to date. And depending on how you ask things, it can get it wrong, which is why the human element is so important. And you should never, ever, ever just copy and paste something from ChatGPT into a document and just send it out into the world. It needs that human element, and it works best if you already know your topic. So it will help you with, say, giving you ideas and research, and then you have to take it the next step further. And you can keep pushing it to drill down and more detail, but you still have to go and verify that. So it's not that you can't trust it. It's an assistant for you, a tool that's going to help you with generating ideas. Don't trust that its facts are correct. So you're absolutely right with that. Jack said, I used it recently to generate ideas for me to talk about related to certain topics for my podcast. Exactly. It's really helpful. And you can keep honing down to ask for a specific audience too. It's just meant to help you, not give you facts to copy. Absolutely. All right, so let's jump in on a few more. Let me see if there was anything else. I have some notes over here. I'm going to try and follow as we go. So some other tips on using it. So I talked about follow-up prompts. Other tips are that you can give it specific words to avoid. So it has certain words it seems to always love, like revolutionize and next level, things you'll see all the time because it's pulling from its database. And those are the sorts of words that people use all the time. So you'll see that, and then you'll want to go to something. You can tell it to avoid those and it'll bring up more, but you can also then use a tool like Word Hippo that's a thesaurus and get something different. Tell it who your audience is. So if your audience is work from home moms, health professionals, business coaches, real estate brokers, tell it what audience you want it to speak to. Tell it what type of tone you want, formal, informal, first person, directing someone as you, using expressive language, compelling language, fun, light, casual, conversational. Test its limits and really push it. I asked it to add a metaphor in. I didn't know what metaphor. I said, add some metaphors. It did it. It added too many metaphors. It went overboard, but it gave me ideas because I was really stuck. So it will definitely help with all of those. Let me just see any other comments before I move on. Lisa said, I use it often to edit and improve my content for social media and marketing. Yeah, I've used it for editing. I edited a couple things. The thing with its editing is it tends to shorten everything. It will simplify the sentences, which is good. You can ask it to rewrite in a more conversational tone or for clarity, but it does follow certain formulas. It can be very formulaic. So it'll do a conclusion that always says in conclusion or overall, or things like that. So that's where you want to tell it to avoid certain words. And I've even told it, like, in the conclusion, add some additional tips and don't say overall. And then you still want to go in and add your own examples and your own insights from yourself, personal stuff. And sometimes it can be very vague, so you have to keep pushing it on details and then add your own. So tell it, I want this step by step. I want this in bullet points. Things like that. So it's great as that cut, and then you need to do a little bit more as well. So let's head over to some of the examples. I can pull up, actually, why don't I just type in one? I'm going to start a new chat, and I have some previous ones I did so that if this, crashes, we can go ahead and fix it. Let me find my examples here. So let's start with some alternate titles to one of the big courses we've got right now. So we have this course called How to Build Multiple Streams of Income, Increase Your Income and Protect Your Financial Freedom with Diverse Sources of Revenue. That's something that's on launch right now. So I'm going to go in and go into the chat. I'm going to type in, let's see, can you give me 5 alternate titles and subtitles for this course on building multiple income streams? And I just pasted in the title that I just told you. So I'm going to hit enter. And hopefully it's not going to be too slow today. If it is, I'll just go into my previous conversation. I think it's going to be slow because I've got, now it's sipping them out. Okay. So we've got the Wealth Builders Blueprint, creating multiple income streams for financial success, diversify your income, comprehensive guide to building multiple income streams, income multiplier from 1 to many, beyond the 9 to 5. They're okay. Not great, but okay. So now I'm going to say, I want to get my own audience in there. So I'm going to say now, rewrite to be relevant for work from home, home moms, okay? And you don't have to repeat your question each time. It is having a conversation, so it will remember. You might have to refer back and say, okay, rewrite number 5, and it'll know from the previous answer the previous answer what it did. So now we've got the Work from Home Mom's Guide to Creating Multiple Income Streams, Maximizing Your Earnings, Building Multiple Income Streams for the Work from Home Mom, Balancing Work and Family. So you're getting ideas, and often you can combine different ones. So you're not necessarily going to like any of these that are there now. So now I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to copy and paste what I did before. It was tough setting this up, I gotta say. So I said, rewrite with more compelling language and avoid making it sound like it takes a lot of time. So make it easy. And it's gonna say, multiply your earnings, ultimate guide. That actually still sounds pretty tough. With ease, hustle, free income, how work from home moms can build multiple streams of revenue, empower your finances, shortcut, so it added certain words that you're going to hear all the time. So then we can cut it out and say, now rewrite without using the words. What do we want to cut out? I would say hustle. What else do you want to cut out? If you guys have anything specific you want me to say, I'll keep an eye on the comments as well. So we'll keep out hustle. I don't want to have mompreneur because I don't like that. What else would we cut out? I'm just looking at this that I really don't like. I don't like ultimate either because it still sounds like too much work. Okay. And let's see how this goes. Diversify your income, comprehensive guide. All it did was replace ultimate with comprehensive. Building financial resilience still sounds pretty, but you could see how you could combine some of these and give you ideas. Achieving financial freedom, creating multiple streams of income. Because then when you go to something like one of the courses like ours, you're going to get ideas to change the title, because you should always change the title on any sort of white label or PLR content. So you can use Chat GPT that way. That is one idea for titles. Let's take a look at some other stuff. So how about, now I'm still staying on the topic of multiple income streams, so I don't have to start a new chat just because I need something new. So for this one, I'm going to say, let's see, I want to get some examples. So one of the best things to use for customizing your content is to put in real world examples, which is not always so easy to come up with. So I'm going to say, what are some real world examples of multiple streams of income that wouldn't take a lot of time for a work from home mom to set up? And let's see what we get. So several examples. It likes to do it almost like a little essay in itself. Several examples of multiple streams of income. We've got sell products online, affiliate marketing, virtual assistant services, freelance writing, online teaching, and it has a little description of each. So let's take it a little bit further, and let's say, great. And you can say, great, conversation. Now can you add 10 more ideas that are quick and simple to set up? So keep going. So we've got create a YouTube channel. I wouldn't say that's so simple. This is where, the human element has to come in. Sell stock photos, could be. Online surveys, pet sitting, social media management, rent out a room, event planning, not so simple. Delivery services, website testing, podcasting. So you can get a whole bunch of ideas. So if you have the multiple income streams course and you want you to create a little bonus of just a list of ideas, it has a lot of ideas in it, a big list, but something that's targeted for your audience. You could keep pushing Chat GPT to come up with more, change the language. Let's say, now rewrite all those ideas with more casual and friendly language. Let's see what it does. So then that can be a bonus that you include, or it can be things that you do inside the course. So I think like multiple income streams has different types: passive, active, semi-passive. So you can ask ChatGPT specifically for examples of each of those. So you can see it's changed the language, like become a YouTube star. If you're a mom with a passion for sharing your life, interests, or expertise, create a YouTube channel and earn money from ads and sponsorships. So already now it's becoming more personable, more something that'll resonate, that doesn't sound like a formal essay. Sell your snaps, get paid for your opinions, hang out with furry friends. All right, so you have to know who your audience is to make sure that'll work. Let me see what some comments in here. Lisa said, yes, you generate more than one sample and tell it certain things as well as edit again. Jackie said, is there a limit to the number of chats you can have in the free version? I don't think so, but it's possible that you would get closed out, that it gets to capacity because so many people are using it. That's the main reason I signed up for the GPT Plus. And I don't think you have that as an option immediately. You'll have to see. So try and go on it a bit once you have it open to you and play with it. And then, for $20 a month, if you decide it's worth it. I'm doing that because I know it's something that is not going away. It's kind of like when the internet came out and you need to learn how to use it, basically. It doesn't replace humans, but you need to learn how to use it because it's not going away. So that's why I joined that. Have you put your own content to help ChatGPT learn how to write in your style? From what I've been told in this, the AI Success Club people, everyone was asking this too, that it doesn't really do that yet. So you have to really push it. So it doesn't necessarily remember from one chat to the next how you like to write. So you still have to push it on certain styles. But once you know the words that are working for you, like to ask for an audience, to ask, if the word friendly works better for you in the results you get than the word expressive or casual or conversational. So see what words work best to get to your style, but it doesn't really get that yet. So I know people have said it'll learn your style, and I think it kind of does inside of a chat, but not from chat to chat. But I'm sure that'll change. Give it time. It's going to be changing. Oh, by the way, Jackie, you asked about a limited number of chats on the free version. I don't think there is, but I know right now that once you're on Plus, or once everyone gets access to GPT-4, that might change. Like right now, I have a limit. It started out as 100 on Wednesday, but they've cut it down to 50 for GPT-4 requests every 4 hours because I guess they were getting it over capacity. So let's see. Why don't we do another one now? Let me see. I'm still on the multiple income streams one, so I'm going to paste this one in. So with our big courses like the multiple income streams, you know that you get blog posts. Now, blog posts are one of those things where you do not want to have the exact same thing. So you want to try and get it rewritten. So I do have a thing. Let's open it up and give it a try. Actually, where's my example? That might be easier this way. So if you see there's blog posts you get like income stream myths, you would want to rewrite something like this, right? So I'll show you the rewriting in a minute, but I also want to show you how it can do social media posts, because that's one of the really easy things to do. And you just have to paste the whole thing in. So I'm going to say, ask it to create a list of social media posts based on that article. So what I did is I copied that whole article, and I'll show you how I do this. and you can paste it in. So I'm going to say, now can you add 10, oh, whoops, that's the wrong one that I just copied. Hang on 1 second. I thought I copied it. Let's see if I do it this time. Okay, so what I've done here is I said, create a list of 10 social media posts based on this article. And then I went over to that blog post, right? Multiple income streams, myths you need to avoid. And I pasted it in, so it's all there. And then I'm going to ask it for those social media posts, and it comes up with them. Myth busting alert. Da, 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 da. Time to get the facts straight. But actually, when I first asked it for this, I think it put emojis in as well. And I don't see the emojis this time. So let me show you that as well. And I'm going to do a follow-up. So you can see some of the things. These are all good social media posts, but still a little dry. So then I'm going to say, great, now make them more lively and engaging. That's what I asked before, but now I'm going to say, and add some emojis, okay? And hashtags, actually. Let's see if that works. I haven't tried this yet, so you're seeing it in the same. So it's adding the emojis, a lot of emojis, and the hashtags. Great. Don't believe these 5 multiple income stream myths. Our latest blog post all and gives you the real deal. Check it out now. And then it has the hashtags, but it doesn't tell you where to put the link in, which I can tell you GPT-4 did. So I'm just going to say, great. Now can you add a placeholder for where my links should to the blog post should go? I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but let's try it. Yeah, insert link. There you go. Check out our latest post, insert link. Pretty cool. And then you'd still want to change them a bit, but you know what? These are great with the emojis for something probably like Instagram. I don't do a lot of Instagram, but it's nice to have them, and you just edit them however you want. Ivan asked something. Does the rewrite usage of Chat GPT on blog posts is like using a spinner tool? I'm not sure what that meant. The eyes pink heart shape. I have never ever used a spinner tool, because spinner tools, the ones that I used to see, were really bad, and all they really did was mix the language and substitute things, and it came out with stuff that really didn't sound natural. With Chat GPT, you can really specify how you want it written in a certain expression. So I would never touch a spinner tool. And I can show you how it would rewrite a whole blog post. So let's see. I definitely did one as an example, so I don't want to get too crazy with showing it here. Let me see. Is this the one I did? Nope, that's learning examples. I want to try finding one where I redid it all, but it's not showing up. So how about we just plug in, we do it live, no rehearsal here, and take that whole blog post and ask it to rewrite it in a certain style. So Ivan, if you have a certain style that you like, you know, a certain type of language and audience, let me know and I'll put it in. All right, so I'm copying that, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do it in the same chat since we've been talking about it already and we already plugged it in. In fact, I probably don't need to paste in the whole blog post again. I can just say, great, now can you rewrite the blog post so that it resonates with Does anybody have a audience that you'd want to do? How about, well, I'm just going to say business coaches because I don't see anyone answering. Which is, hang on. And include real world examples. Oh, you want it for an adult audience? I might miss Ivan saying an adult audience. It might misunderstand the word adult. So I would want to be a little more specific. You know, adults can range from anything, and then adult content is not something that it's allowed to do. It's one of the rules, I think, in that. So how about business coaches age 40 to 60, and include real world examples they can relate to. I'm just going off the top of my head here. So it has the same title. It's putting in the audience saying, as a business coach, you may have heard of the benefits of multiple income streams. However, you may also, it's scrolling down too fast for me to read. It's got real world examples. It's adding as actual paragraphs. Actually, Joe, you asked for women of color in the workplace, so professional women. So I'll ask it to rewrite it for that next instead. So you can see that it's adding examples. It says, while having unique skills and interests can be helpful, they're not necessarily blah, blah, blah. Real world example, a business coach who wants to start a side hustle selling handmade crafts. That doesn't really make sense. Doesn't need to be a master craftsman. So some of these don't really make sense. Got a business coach who has diversified their income by offering various services, needs to work hard to maintain and grow their income stream. That's for the myth. Once you've launched them, you don't have to work as hard. So let's ask it to rewrite that again for professional women of color in the workplace. So now can you rewrite it for professional women of color in the workplace? I don't know how it'll do with examples, but let's see. And do you want a certain tone in there, like a conversational tone? Should we do that? And use a friendly conversational tone. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, of course, it starts with who your audience is as professional women of color in the workplace. So you might want to change that. Okay. Real world example for, yeah, see, this is where you have to be careful not to copy and paste it. This is why I don't love it for rewriting, say, a whole blog post, because it keeps the formula and it'll keep saying the same thing. Like every real world example starts with a professional woman of color who wants to start a side business, professional woman of color who has diversified her income. You don't want to do that, but you can tell it to rewrite that. So you can tell it use a different term or something like that. Okay, so now rewrite the blog post and using, if you have specific ones, you would also tell it like other words you prefer to use, using terms. But here I can't think of any, so I'm just going to say using terms different from professional woman of color. They're so repetitive. So you can do that. Now, oops, I think it's, oh, it had an error. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it doesn't like that anymore. Probably because I pushed it a little too hard in timing with the internet on at the same time. But I found it works better for rewriting, if you have it rewrite one section at a time. So I have that somewhere. Hypothetical example. I think I did a blog post here. That was titles. Nope, that was title ideas. Sorry, I know I have one. I don't think it saved it. So don't rely on this history either. Make sure you copy and paste things over to something like a Google Doc, okay? And it'll look a little messy like this when you copy it over, but it'll have sort of background color sometimes. So just to save your chat there, do that. And then you can go in and get rid of the formatting by putting it into a text document. So strip out the formatting and then paste it back in. But you shouldn't be copying and pasting anyway. So let me see if I had this in here. I tried to copy all the examples. I'll show you the quiz. Where are we in timing? Oh, we're moving along pretty fast. So let me move on to some other stuff. But the blog post one, to me, is one of the trickiest ones. I know people say, yeah, it's great for rewriting blog posts, but honestly, you can already see that you have to be much, much more specific about that. All right, and same with titles. Oh, here's one that I rewrote, I think. No, this is the one we were just working on. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I was going to do on that. Okay. No, let's move over to a different one now so that I can get as many of these in as possible. And the next one had to do, I took another PLR, white label report that we just released, and I'm going to work on the one called Top Tips on Using Artificial Intelligence for Your Content Creation. And in this is a report that's more about top tips on using AI in different ways. It's not a how to use Chat GPT, because as you can see, it's changing so rapidly that if you do any kind of report on that, it's going to be out of date tomorrow. I mean, I was going to do a video on this on Tuesday, got delayed, and then Wednesday it came out with GPT-4. So thank God I didn't do that, because I would have been out of date already. So don't go buying reports on how to use that stuff yet. None of them are going to be accurate. They'll be out of date quickly. So GPT-4, what did I do? It did have different answers, like multiple income streams, title here. It probably kept that. GPT-4. Like here, it's doing things like numbering them when I asked for the social media posts. Oh, here, I asked it to rewrite. Oh no, I asked it to do 10 social media posts. You can just be playing with this for hours, so be careful. Set yourself a limit on that, right? Let's start a new chat, okay? And we're gonna ask it to do some infographic text. So this was really helpful too. And this has to do with that AI report I was talking about. It's top tips for using artificial intelligence for your content creation. So let's get it to do some infographic text for me. All right. Put that in and said, I even had a typo and it figured it out. I said, what text could I put in an infographic that would give the top tips for using AI for content marketing? It knew what I was talking about, even though I had a typo. And here's what it came up with. Here's some possible tips. So it has understand your audience, use AI-powered tools to analyze data and gain insights, personalize your content. AI can help you do this. So again, it doesn't have any flavor or spice to it, anything interesting. So now I'm going to say again, I'm going to say, great. Now, can you rewrite that infographic text using more informal and compelling language? So let's see what we get. Get to know your audience, give them what they want, up your SEO game, automate the boring stuff. What does it say? Automate the boring stuff, test, learn, and repeat, stay ahead of the curve, and do the right thing. Remember to use it ethically and transparently. So did I even ask it? I didn't even ask it for the number. I've asked for 10 points to have it more specific. And now here's where I'm going to test it a little bit more and see what it comes up with. I'm going to say, can you now rewrite it to include a metaphor for each one that a business coach could relate to? So let's see what it does. And here we go. It added metaphors. So with something like that short report, the AI report that we're doing with or even for anything, you could create an infographic to help with promoting it, to add it as a bonus, to just embed it into the blog post and add some more of your text to it. Make sure you edit this stuff. But it says, get to know your audience. Think of your audience as a puzzle and use AI to help you piece together the different that make up the whole. By understanding their likes, dislikes, and behaviors, you can create a complete picture of who they are and what they want. So it's using standard metaphors that people will understand. Then give them what they want, just like a bartender who knows their regulars' favorite drinks. Use AI to personalize your content and deliver what your audience craves. Now, I asked it for metaphors, so it's putting a metaphor into every single one. I don't recommend that unless it's the same metaphor. You don't want to mix up your metaphors. So it's got up your SEO game, think of your content as a fishing lure, automate the boring stuff. Imagine AI as a personal assistant, test, learn, and repeat, just like an athlete who tracks their progress and adjusts their training accordingly. So all of these work. It's pretty wild. I mean, I told someone the other day that I tried asking it for metaphors. They couldn't believe it. Stay ahead of the curve. Think of AI as a GPS that helps you navigate the ever-changing landscape of content marketing. And that's where I'm not sure it would trust it. I think, I don't remember who said they didn't trust it earlier, but I'm not sure I agree with that. And that's where also I pointed out earlier that you really do need to know things a bit and check, because it's not always accurate, right? Another question here. With multimodal features on Chat GPT 4, are we close to create infographics in a click? As far as I know, when it comes to visuals, Chat GPT is not there yet. But what I read is that it can take an image and look at the image, and it will pick. I think I saw it in the New York Times yesterday. If you give it an image of, for instance, a bunch of ingredients and say, what things can I create with these ingredients, it will give you ideas. I don't actually have an image handy that I could test it out on, but that's something to play with. And I'm sure it'll get better. But there are other programs that will create images for you. I haven't heard great things about any of them, and they get really tricky. The one that I tried was, because I'm not that graphic inclined anyway, it needed very specific instructions that I just couldn't give it. I didn't know what to do. You have to already have an idea in your head. So for infographics, what I would do, and what I do with one of my assistants, is we create the text, so Chat GPT can help you, and then you edit it, and then I give it to one of my assistants who works in Canva, and she uses the Canva templates to just create it there. So I'm still, I'm speeding up the text part of it, but I'm still outsourcing to someone who can create the actual graphics. I'm sure we'll get there eventually, definitely. And you'll still want to make changes to it. So I'll have to play with that GPT-4 a little more. It's so new that I don't really want to do it live today. Maybe on the next one when I do another one of these. All right, so we're still on the AI one, and to zip it along here, I want to show you the whole quizzes function. I have one done in case this crashes, but I'll show you what I asked it, all right? And we'll up with, and this is really cool, if it works. All right, so I said, can you create a quiz to test people's knowledge of what AI can do to help them with the content marketing? Make it 10 questions with 3 possible multiple choice answers. And here it is doing that. 10 questions with 3 multiple choice answers. This is just the starting point, okay? And then it gave the correct answers. Check that they're correct, because I tried this once before with something else, and it didn't get all the answers correct, and the scoring and stuff. But here you can see, what can AI help you do to better understand your audience? A, analyze their social media profiles, B, track their browsing history. It says both A and B. Chat GPT doesn't do that, but there are other AI tools. So maybe you could ask it which AI tools, but these are just like if you had a whole report. I think in the report, the AI report that we did, each part of it has a different tool ideas. So let me just go into that and take a look, because I honestly can't remember. I've got so much going on. So this was top tips on using artificial intelligence for your content creation. And it's strategy, content, emails, your website, using it the right way. And it has ideas for tools. Some of it is more automation than AI. People get the two mixed up, algorithms and automations and stuff. That's not AI. AI learns from you. It's a more human. There's some different ideas in here. This is kind of a starting point. We try and make our stuff as evergreen as possible. Hopefully this will last for a while because it's more about tips and places that you can use it. So that first question already, I'm in the quiz, I'm kind of questioning whether it's accurate. Where were we? All right, so these are the answers that we got. Things like, what is one way AI can help you optimize your content for search engines? It can say by automatically generating keyword rich headlines and descriptions. It can definitely do that. You give it the keyword, it'll give you ideas. By creating content that is irrelevant to your target audience, obviously wrong. By copying content from other websites. I'm not sure, it shouldn't do that, but that would be something worth checking. So like I said, read it and then make sure you check it. But we're still missing some stuff to make this a good quiz. So first I want some of the wording redone. So I'm gonna say, now can you rewrite the same quiz using more casual and fun language? So it's gonna rewrite it. And I know there's some questions coming in that hopefully I can answer, but no promises. It's just evolving so fast. Nobody's totally up on it. That's why I'm in this success club. So it's rewritten it, and let's see what some of it's, how it's changed some of the answers. And again, make sure you check those. So let's go back up, and it says, what's one way AI can help you understand your audience? Stalk them on social media, read their minds, analyze their data. It's really funny. I don't think I'd use that word, stalk, but it's kind of interesting. How can AI help you personalize your content? Actually, this is interesting to see what it said the answer was. So it said C, analyze their data. Yeah, so that one did get it correct. Stalk them on social media is not right. How can AI help you personalize your content? By getting to know your audience likes and dislikes, by flipping a coin to decide what to write, by hiring a psychic. So I asked it for more fun language and it did that. So that's good. Now let's try something else, because we need, as a quiz, we need a scoring key, right? So let's do that. And this is great because you can add it to any course that you have. And it's a great way to customize. I know our big ones have in the upgrade pack module quizzes that are testing the knowledge, but you could ask Chat GPT to do something that could be a good pre-assessment to a course by telling it what the course is about and then asking it to create a quiz. So here we've got a scoring key. So you get 1 point for, okay, so you get 1 point for every correct answer. This is not right, I can tell right now that can't be right. The scoring key. Oh yeah, it's basically said A. So you would want to go back to the quiz and mix things up a bit, because right now it has C as the right one and then A as every single correct one. Again, don't copy paste. And then it gives some ideas. 0 to 3 is you're an AI novice. You may have heard about AI and content marketing, but you still have a lot to learn. Keep reading and experimenting. 4 to 7 is an AI apprentice. You've got some basic knowledge of how AI can help with content marketing, but there's still room for improvement. Keep learning and applying. 8 to 10 AI master. You really know your stuff. So, this is a great start to a quiz, right? And let's keep pushing it some more. Okay, I've got more questions I put aside that I used. So I'm going to say now, because I don't like this novice apprentice business. So I'm going to say, can you give 5 alternate ideas for the title of each one of the results level that are more compelling? You don't have to have perfect grammar when you ask it questions. So it's got AI Explorer, AI Rookie, AI Novitiate. No, don't use that. Greenhorn. No, don't use that. 4 to 7, we've got enthusiast, learner, apprentice, journeyman. That was just weird. Explorer. So didn't it have an Explorer for the first one too? Yeah, it did. So, it's giving you ideas again. Mastermind, guru, wizard, expert, prodigy. Some of these just don't make sense, but they're good for idea generation. And then the next thing was tough. This is where it got difficult when I was pushing it. I said, what are some next steps people can take after the quiz is done for each of the scored results levels? And this is where I've done this before and it just doesn't really work well. So it's got like read articles or blogs, attend webinars. It does like the same things all the time. So this is where when it comes to designing anything around learning and action steps, you can ask it for a bunch of different ideas, but it's having difficulty still getting to some good stuff. And I tried to do like creative next steps. Let's see. And you can see, I'm going to show you another thing with learning activities and how I used it, because that's really helpful for courses and customizing them. So I tried to push it to get some creative next steps. And this was a little bit better. So we've got create a list of your target audience's interests and use an AI tool to generate content. So that's a good activity. So there's a whole bunch and you could just pick one and alter it if they make sense. In a medium one, it said use AI-powered video editing tools to create more polished and professional looking. You could use AI to analyze your competition's content marketing strategy. There are tools for that. So it's a little bit I am going to show you one more thing before we run out of time, which I said with the learning activities, but quickly answer a couple questions. So Ivan said with multimodal features on, oh no, you asked me that already. I answered that. Frank, I use this Chat GPT Chrome extension. It helped a lot with content creation. So AI PRM for Chat GPT. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. Thanks for that. I'm definitely going to do that. All right, let me show you the learning activities one. And I know I have this in here. Okay. So this is tough and you do need to know something about learning and what a good action step is and stuff. And that's where the AI and ChatGPT works best, when you do know what you're talking about. So, and I'm going to get some learning activity ideas. And it's what are 10 possible learning activities for people who are new to using AI in their content marketing? Just pretty general question. Sure, here are 10 possible learning activities. First one is not a good one. Take a certification program. Conduct research on how other businesses and brands have successfully integrated AI into their content marketing strategy. Potentially. It loves to ask you to participate in webinars and online events. Okay, yeah, that is a helpful way to learn more, but it's not great if you were just doing a course, because that's the whole point. Try out AI-powered tools and platforms to get hands-on experience, experiment with different types of AI-powered content, network with other professionals in the field. Yeah, you can get insights. I joined this AI Success Club that I mentioned before, where I am learning a lot. Read case studies, conduct A/B tests. It's all pretty vague. So now let's try honing down a little bit more. So I'm going to say, because none of those are really very good. Can you give me 10 more ideas that are practical for content marketers and can be done in no more than 30 minutes? Let's see how it does for that. So sign up for a free trial for a content optimization tool. Experiment with optimizing one of your pieces of content. You could sign up for Chat GPT free and test it out. That's a good way to get started. Watch a video tutorial, join an AI and content marketing group on LinkedIn or Facebook, start a discussion, read a blog post, listen to a podcast episode. There are podcasts, and take notes. Set up Google alerts for AI and content marketing to stay up to date. That's pretty easy to do. Take a short online quiz or assessment, attend a short webinar. Oh my God, a webinar again. Use an AI-powered tool to analyze your past content performance. Research how your competitors are using AI. So it's still not great. Maybe there's one or two that are useful. And so I had something, I'm just putting in prompts that I used before because we are running out of time. So I said all of those activities would take a long time. Actually, one or two are easier. Can you provide some ideas where people can implement each one in no more than an hour? For example, by doing some outlining, testing, or planning. I actually did some of that. I just want to try the prompt anyway and see what happens. Margaret, you said you have to run. You hope to watch the rest later in the FB event. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be finishing up in a few minutes anyway, because just to get a crown put on. Yeah. I should ask ChatGPT how I could get away from that. Get out of that. So it says, you just keep pushing it. Create a list of your top performing blog posts and use an AI-powered content optimizer. I think one of the big issues with this particular question on AI and learning activities is that it's a little too vague still. If I think I tested it out once with stepping out of your comfort zone, and I asked it about learning activities for that, and it was much better. But AI is so new, it's a little bit harder to do. And I'm not going to bother rewriting them. You can ask it to rewrite them to have more specific steps. So you can say something like this, like, can you rewrite those and give specific steps on how to do them and no more than 30 minutes so it has timing. So see, you can, let's see, use an AI-powered chat. You're going to have to ask it again. Where it says use a specific tool, you could try asking it what tool to use. But you could just pick one of these, like take a short online quiz, listen to a podcast. Yeah, they're still kind of vague. Let me see if I can find the one I did on comfort zone. I don't know how long it keeps these. No, I don't think it's kept the one that I did. Sorry. Comfort zone. Here. I'll show you one or two last things before I sign off. So, can I do it? No, and then asked it to write an email. I didn't like it. I asked for, here, exercises to step out of your comfort zone. So I asked it to do this. I was trying to get some for a challenge. I did a training for somebody else on how to use PLR to do a challenge. So I asked 10 ideas for exercises people can do to step out of their comfort zone. I said, it said try a new hobby, strike up a conversation. Again, kind of vague. So I said, give 10 ideas of small daily actions they can take. So then it's getting more specific. Take a different route to work or school. Changing up your routine can help you break out of autopilot mode. So these were all much better. Can you adjust those activities to be more practical and actionable? Something people can do in a few minutes each day. Because the thing that I was doing, the training I was doing was showing as an example how to use our report on how to step out of your comfort zone to create a 5-day challenge. So I needed really short activities. So it said, do a quick online search to learn something you know nothing about. It's not really stepping out of your comfort zone in my mind. Try a new food or drink item. It's a pretty small thing to do. Strike up a brief conversation with someone you don't know, such as a barista, cashier, or passerby. Okay, these are all viable things. Take a cold shower for a few minutes. How is that stepping out of your comfort zone? I'm sorry. Build mental toughness. So again, it's looking at its own database. Take a new route to work. And I said, can you reword that last set to have more fun and inspiring wording? I'm trying a lot with this tone thing of doing fun and casual and inspiring, and I do get some good examples. The unknown by spending a few minutes each day learning about something new and fascinating online. I think, did I end it there? No, I gave, okay, so the last one, can you rewrite those last activities to give specific instructions on what to do each day? And then it starts becoming more practical as a learning activity. But you need to know what you're doing. And then I said, can you rewrite it to change them to focus just on mindset activities? So then practice positive self-talk each day, focus on gratitude. It's not going to be original stuff because it's working from a database, and that's where you come in to mix things up. But you can push it quite a bit. All right, let me see if I got any other questions in here. We're pretty much out of time, so I'll answer questions. Before I answer questions, I will really quickly show you Chat GPT 4 and how the answers looked a little different. So I showed you how I asked it, and then I said, where is it? Here. So on the multiple income streams, we did this earlier, and I just wanted to show you how the answers were different in GPT-4. So I'm going up to the top. I asked it for alternate titles, and this time it did, because I gave it a title and subtitle, it actually did break it down as title and subtitle. Whereas in GPT-3, it just gave me like a colon after each one. This specified that it was a title and a subtitle, so that was nice. I asked for relevant from work from home moms. It actually was a little bit better on those answers, more fun, more compelling. So it kept this nice format, which I prefer for really seeing how an outline is, how it did all of that. And the real world examples, it's very similar sort of answers as GPT-3, probably because it's the same database, but I like the way it laid it out. And I got quite a lot of them, including, the casual fun language, like start a fun blog, be a social media wizard, online tutoring, create a cool YouTube channel, stuff like that. Crafty online selling. Let me just show you. And then I asked for the social media post, and without asking it to add the emojis and the link and the hashtag, it did it straight away. Whereas in GPT-3, I had to ask it to add those. So that was kind of good too. I think that's all I tested it on. It's slower too. You can see with GPT-3, it just zoomed out the answers. GPT-4 seems to be much slower at that. So let me see if I can answer anything more. So we've got, I'll answer any last questions and then I have to sign off. Liz, you decided to get the paid version. Good, enjoy it. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And by the way, I didn't share any links. So to sign up for Chat GPT, you have to go to chat.openai.com. All right. That's easy enough to find. The Success Club thing that I joined is you can go to contentsparks.com/AI Success Club, and that you'll land on a page like that, but I'll just show you inside that each week they give prompts and they have some workshop stuff as well, like workshop that they just started. And each week they give prompts like you can play with who is my target audience, core beliefs and values. I was talking about this before. You can paste in your about page. I'm learning all of this as I go. So you may want to consider signing up for that. Other things I wanted to show you. I showed you the income streams course. That was the one here that we still have on a launch sale. So that gives you a big meaty bunch of white label content that you can use and play with Chat GPT a bit on that. That's just contentsparks.com/income streams. And the last one I was talking about was the reports. These are just short reports that we just released that are also on a launch sale. One is on hybrid teams. So that's a combo of remote and in-office workers. So there's some tips in there. And then there's the AI one with lots of tips and examples of tools. So I just want to make sure I get that out there before we go any further. So that was the multiple income streams. So let me just finish with any questions on here. So let's see. You had said, Jackie, that the tool gave you a good jumping off place, just looking for basic ideas. The follow-on question option is to elaborate. That is so important. I cannot begin to reiterate that, to stress that more. The refined prompt helps it get more specific. You have to keep doing those follow-up prompts like I showed you with all of those, with the titles, with rewriting things. If you are using it for rewriting anything in a blog post, I said I got best results doing it section by section, giving very specific, who's your audience, what tone do you want in there, what type of examples, do you want a metaphor, are there certain words you want to avoid that you don't want it to use, like revolutionize or awesome or next level. So be very specific and play with it, and you'll find what works best for you. And yeah, Steve, like I said, the output is directly related to the prompting. It's the same as with computer programming, garbage in, garbage out, they always say with programming. It's the same with any AI tool. And the only one I've really had the good experience with so far is Chat GPT. I know there are others that do other things, but it's the main one I've played with. And I like that I can do it as a conversation and mess up and then just do a new chat, because sometimes you just get too far off the rails and it's still remembering what you asked in the beginning. So at that point, sometimes it's better to start a new chat when you see that it's not working. Can be used repeatedly until you get what you want or enough to modify your style. Yep, exactly. Like I was showing, just keep pushing it. And it will get to a point where, like I said, you just can't go any further and you just don't know what to ask it anymore. And you just say, enough, take what you have and try and play with it or try a new one. I might have missed this. What's the benefit of the paid version? The paid version right now, what it does is it gives you, when it's at capacity, you are guaranteed access. So like when GPT-4 came out on Wednesday, everything was overloaded, but basically I've never had any problem getting in. And even on Wednesday, when it was at capacity, it said capacity, and then it said, if you're a Plus member, put your email in here and we'll send you a link to log in. And the first couple of times it didn't, because I guess I was corresponding exactly with when they announced GPT-4 out, but within a couple hours I was fine. And I'm sure that people who were free may not have been able to get in at all. So it's basically to make sure that you have access to it versus the free version. I'm waving my hands around and knocking my microphone. Oh, the FAQs indicates it's got fast response even when busy. All right, you answered your own question. Can you show sign-in URLs? So you mean the sign-in URL for Chat GPT? Let me go back and hide that. If you're talking about for Chat GPT, just go to chat.openai.com. You can also just Google it, because it's all over the place right now. And there you'll have to sign up, and then you can always go to this URL, chat.openai.com, and you'll get your login. So you have to sign up first. And if it's really been at capacity with this new release, then it may take a little while sometimes to get in. I've been playing with it for a while now. So that's to get to Chat GPT. And again, you won't be able to use the GPT-4 unless you're able to sign up for Chat GPT Plus. So, and I'm just going to go back and show this one again for those reports. So when I now go into new chat, you can see that the default is GPT 3.5, but I can do a drop down arrow and go to GPT-4, and then anything it says, it says there's a limit of 50 messages for every 4 hours because they were at capacity. So, you may have that issue as well. Any last comments in here? Let me leave that other URL up of what we have on launch right now. Any last comments? Yes. Okay, so chat.openai.com. That's it. Now, it's funny because Jackie, you said the FAQs show that GPT Plus has faster response. I didn't mention that you can actually create your own FAQs, like for a product or something, with Chat GPT. It's one of the things that was in the AI Success Club, one of the series of prompts. You have to work through prompts like who's your audience, what are the benefits of my course for them, what objections might they have, now write some answers to those objections, now organize it in an FAQ, so you can lead it along for things like that too. I have to sign off now and head to the dentist. I'm really sorry. Actually, I'm really sorry because I don't want to go to the dentist. So if you guys liked this, let me know, send me an email to Sharon@contentsparks.com, or you can send it to support@contentsparks.com with any questions at all. And if you like it, I'll do another one as I learn more and show you more things that you can do. I was trying to focus mainly on content and things you can do to customize your courses, but you can see that there's a lot of other things you can do, like you were saying with podcasts and other places, but you can add a lot of value to the courses of ours and our content just by asking ChatGPT to rewrite titles, to add a quiz, to do a list of an infographic text, and FAQs, various things. So think about that. I think we have a blog post about ways to add value too, but you could ask ChatGPT how you can add value to a course. So really push the limits and let me know how it goes. If you're a customer of ours, go into the customer group and add any tips that you have as well, or on our Facebook page, things that have worked well for you. I'd love to hear it, and everyone else would as well. So time to sign off, everyone. I hope to hear you. Well, any other comments? Thanks. Helpful session, helpful session. Thanks, very informative. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Take care now. Bye.